Hi guys. You're gonna hear a little bit of background noise. I'm outside because the house is alive and busy. It's Friday morning and we are getting ready to leave. Sorry, that was my finger. For Cocoa Beach, Florida. Now, I wanted to make sure that you guys at least got to see these. I was not able to make 10 cards. I did, however, make 6, plus I had another one that was almost done, so I'll finish those last 3 when I come back. Although if you guys are anything like me, you may have moved on to the September kit for Simon Says Stamp, which is what I'll want to be working on when I get back. Sorry guys, I haven't been up very long. Alright, so here's the first card. For this card I used a cream colored card base, and I cut out that packaging that the stamps and dies came on because I really like the coffee foam, swirled coffee foam. And then I did all of the takeout cups in different colors, and I just used my Arteza Real Brush pens, and I stamped all of them out on that. I think it's like 2 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inch strip of Bristol Smooth. And then I popped up the one in the center with foam tape. They're all different colors. I used those prints. They're technically supposed to be in the coffee mugs, you know, with the heat or white puff embossing powder. Sorry. These little guys, I use those as decorations on the cup, and then use the heart stamp to decorate that guy. Then I also I printed out the whipped cream with Barely Beige Simon Says Stamp ink. And then I used my distress marker spritzer and tea dye and walnut stain distress markers to make the sprinkled nutmeg, as I like to think of it, on the top of the whipped cream. And then I covered it with the lacquer pen. And then each cup, except for the center one, has a different steam. And those were just done with VersaFine and clear embossing powder. And then I popped up Sending You a Latte Love. And that's it for that card. And if I'm forgetting something or you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I will be checking the channel while I'm on vacation, because I'm in a rush, so I don't know if I'm forgetting anything. The second card, I used a craft card base, and I used this decorative, like, I don't know what it's called. It's got like imprints in the paper, and there's like a rust colored one and a tan colored one, and I used my Sizzix scallop circles to cut those out. Hi baby. Like I said, it's very busy here today. Then I heat embossed a whole bunch of different sayings from the stamp set in rich cocoa memento ink, and then covered them with clear embossing powder. And then I took some of my distress inks, mixed with water, and then put one of my smaller embossing powder jars into it, and made these miniature coffee rings. I used my wonky die for the Bristol Smooth paper. I put down Life Begins After Coffee, just simple tag, fishtail banner, flat to the card. This circle is popped up on foam tape. I used some of the decorative paper to put on top of this circle. From the kit, tied a little bow, put a little mug on there with some, I think this is Memento Fog ink for the steam, and I did 3 steams there. And that was it for that card. Card number 3, I wasn't sure where I was going with this one exactly. We started out with a full-size paper when I was stamping out the background phrases. And it's just all the straight phrases from the kit, because I didn't feel like cutting apart anything. And I stamped out my middle mug first. Then I masked it off, and I stamped out these 2 guys. Then I masked all 3 off and the straw, and then that's when I did all the words, because I wanted the words to be behind the mugs. Then I used some alcohol ink left over from another card, which you'll see soon enough, to put these 2 small thin strips and the background to the phrase on. I stamped out coffee is always a good idea, and then just put that on top of a piece of alcohol ink paper. And these 2 rust colored glitter papers. I was looking through my grandmother's papers to see if I could find something to use with this kit as background paper, and that slip of paper fell out. I don't know where it came from. It was the perfect color, and there's none of it left. There isn't any left, so it was enough for this card, and that was it. And that's on marshmallow white basil paper. I think it's basil paper. It was from the whole bunch of cardstock that I stocked up on when I went to Joann's when they had it on sale. And everything's stuck flat to the card except for the sentiment. And that's it for card number 3. Now card number 4, wasn't sure if I liked, because what I meant for it to be was a whole bunch of used stacked up cups from, you know, a group of friends who got together with the foam and whipped cream left over. But when I showed it to my kids and my fiance, they thought it was cups that were being washed with soap suds. I mean, I guess it could work either way. That's not what I was going for. So I popped this whole frame up. I cut out a little window for a shaker card. I doubled up on my foam tape because it's so thin. But this is the only part that shakes. It's got the pattern paper from the kit behind there in the background. It says World's Best Friend. And I cut all these cups out separately, colored them all in, cut slits in each cup, stacked them the way I wanted, glued them together. That one went down first with these 2 on top so that one would look like it was in the background. There's a whole bunch of different sequins and stuff in here, but there's also, if you look carefully, some hole punched pieces of alcohol ink paper that was left over from what I specifically did an alcohol ink design with colors that would match this kit on a piece of gloss cardstock. And I hate wasting that stuff once I cut out my main piece. So like I use strips there, I use some on behind sentiment, I use some, cut them out in circles and save them so I could use them in shaker cards. So we've got World's Best Friend in the center, and then we've got We're the Perfect Blend, Cup of Joy, Express of Yourself. And that's it for card number 4. Excuse me, I need a drink. Now take a look at card number 5. This background was originally going to be for the next card, but I couldn't make it work the way I wanted to. It's on Strathmore watercolor paper. I painted it with a whole bunch of different swirls and stripes with my brush, regular browns from a koi watercolor set and from my pearlescent watercolor set. I forget the name of that one. And then I used an embossing folder from Doris to put those little blocks in there. Cut out those 3 mugs, colored them. I colored 2 to kind of match the theme of the card. The third one in the back there is turquoise and green. That one's flat with a little bit of dots for nutmeg. The same with the front 2, but the front 2 have 2 different whipped cream stamps from the kit. And I also put gloss on the top of each. Then I cut out 2 steams and went over the edges with a gray marker so it looked more finished, glued them right to the cardstock. This piece is popped up on foam tape. This one's flat down with a fishtail banner, and that's just a leftover piece of this, but it wasn't run through the embossing folder. Tie a bow around it, and it says, You're the cream in my coffee. And that's it for card number 5. Oh, sorry guys. Now the last card that I got to last night, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to use that die. And my instant idea when I got the kit was to make that alcohol ink paper. I had the gloss cardstock. I hadn't been able to play with my alcohol inks in a while because I ran out of the U-boat and the cardstock, the high gloss cardstock. So I finally had it. I used all the browns and tans I had in ink, alcohol ink, cut it out. Could not figure out what I wanted to do with it. Finally decided to use the pattern paper from the kit. I cut the edges with that antique paper cutter I got from my grandmother's house. Made a to-go cup, popped it up on foam tape, put but first coffee, and just put lacquer pen around the middle of that. And that's it. It was a simple card. I plan on using that die again when I come back for one of the last 3 cards. So that's it, guys. I hope you like what I did get done. I hope you enjoy them. If you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification button because we have lots of giveaways coming up. One as soon as I get back. Hope to see you guys soon. Bye-bye.